right. Good evening, everybody. This is Ryan Hinton. Thank you very much for taking a few minutes to tune in this evening. This is our basic training. We like to refer to it as the steps for success for brand new distributors. And I'm assuming that if you're taking the time to get on this call tonight, someone has either invited you or you've seen it in one of our groups, and you're kind of in one of two different categories. You're either a brand new distributor and you're thinking about, hey, how can I get off to a quick start, a fast start, or maybe you're a seasoned veteran by this point in time, but you're just looking for a little refresher and trying to kind of recalibrate and start fresh. So I'm going to approach tonight's call from a very basic perspective. Like I said, we're just going to talk about some of the basic steps to help you build your business. And again, I am assuming that if you're on the call, you're interested in Advocare from an income perspective. And, you know, most people, if you were to ask probably 20 different people that are involved with Advocare, that they're looking at this from an income perspective, they're looking to make somewhere in the ballpark of $500 to $1,000 a month. And that's obviously very impactful money, and that is exactly what we want to try to teach people, is how do you master the basics? You know, what do you do right off the bat to start generating a few $100s of money every single month coming in through this opportunity? And I want to kind of set the stage a little bit and just talk a little bit about what we have in store for us in 2014. And I was fortunate enough to be on a call this afternoon where we learned some really interesting facts about what's going on in the world of Advocare right now. And if I can actually take you back in time, 7 years ago, we were averaging 43 new distributors a day. Okay, so that's 7 years ago. There were 43 new distributors a day joining Advocare. Now get ready for this. Yesterday alone, there were 1,983 new distributors joining Advocare. So that's just a quick example of how quickly things are growing. There were 3 people that became new diamond distributors in Advocare last period. There was 1 brand new platinum distributor. And you guys know those are fairly crazy amounts of money. But I also kind of want to boil it down to the entry level of leadership when we talk about silver leaders in Advocare. And for those of you that are brand new, that's just one of the forms of residual income. But silver leaders average just slightly under $13,000 a year, so a little over $1,000 a month. And we had 310 new silver distributors, and we had 137 people earn the new rookie bonus program in the last pay period. So bottom line, guys, things are exploding and things are growing, and you're getting involved at just the right time. Now, one note I want to make here, and if you've got a pencil and paper handy, this is a great note for you to jot down. Guys, this is a very, very simple business, okay? And, you know, one of the biggest mistakes that we see people make is the fact that they tend to overcomplicate things, all right? You know, this is not a situation where you need to make it any harder than it needs to be. It's a very simple business, and there's some very simple steps that help everybody succeed. So keep that in mind. Do not overcomplicate things. Now, one of the first subjects I kind of want to walk through tonight is I want you to ask yourself one question, and that question is, why are you doing Advocare? And think about that in terms of what is it going to do for you and your family? Where is it going to take you? And, you know, this cannot be something when somebody asks you, well, why are you doing Advocare? And I'll be honest with you, I'm going to share a little bit of our story throughout the course of my discussion tonight. But, you know, there was a point in time when, you know, our first year in the business, really Rebecca's first year in the business, when if somebody had asked me, why are you doing Advocare, I might have said, because my wife is making me, okay? And that's not a legitimate reason. A lot of times people's gut reaction is to say, well, it's for the money. And honestly, that's not a good reason either, all right? Now, they might boil that down and they might start to get more specific and say, well, I'm doing Advocare so that I can make $500 a month. Well, I want you to take that a step further and say, why? Why do you need to make $500 a month? What is that actually going to accomplish? What's it going to accomplish for you? What's it going to accomplish for your family? What are you actually going to do with the income that you make in Advocare? There's a phrase that I've heard several people use, and it's very appropriate, but it's you've got to ask yourself why until you cry. And that might sound a little cheesy and sound a little funny, but you've got to keep asking yourself, why are you doing this, and digging deeper until the point that it gets emotional. And that emotional why that you uncover, that's going to drive you, okay? That's going to be your emotional fuel that's going to propel you to be able to do Advocare. And that's going to help you, that's going to see you through the valleys, and it's going to help propel you over the peaks. Your why is going to be your emotional fuel, and that purpose has to be defined, and you have to know what that is. Kind of think of it in terms of, and it's another question to just ask yourself after this call is over, but what would you do if money were no object? Okay? What would you do if money were no object? And that might help you uncover why you're pursuing Advocare. You might want to be, if money were no object, you might want to be a stay-at-home parent. Rebecca and I, we became stay-at-home parents, and both of us in March of 2012. So we're coming up on 2 years. We helped over 4 parents this past summer come home and be home with their kids. Maybe it's a situation where you want to pay off debt. All right. Maybe it's a situation where you've got school loans, or you've got revolving credit debt. Most Americans do now. Maybe that's your why, and maybe that's your burden that you're trying to shake by getting involved in Advocare, and that's going to fuel you. I heard Double Diamond distributor Mark Lightgib talk about the fact that he was paying off debt with his Advocare business, and that was one of his first whys, and just how freeing it was for him to be able to write that last check when he no longer had any debt on his shoulders weighing him down. Maybe you're doing something for your kids. Maybe you want to send them to some special dance classes or special, instructional classes. Maybe you want to adopt. Maybe you want to send them to private school or save for college. But you've got to figure out what you're going to do with the money that you're going to make with Advocare. And I'll just, be bluntly honest here and talk to people as we're going through this. But, that was one of the things, that why is what eluded me for the first year when we were doing this. And for the life of me, Rebecca, my wife, was growing this business and growing it very well, and I couldn't figure out why we were doing it. I did not see why she was sacrificing time as a family and what it was building towards. And as she literally drugged me to 2 different success schools, kind of kicking and screaming, but it was at those success schools where I started to see other men, other professionals, other people that were involved with Advocare that were leading the kind of life that I wanted to lead. And I saw people on stage that had the life that I had always imagined leading. And that was something that I had not allowed myself to think about, because we had a small son at home, and I was missing him more and more all the time. My corporate job was pulling me away. I was out on the road 2 to 3 weeks a month and was really struggling with that. But after seeing what Advocare could do for us, I literally started to have kind of a vision of where this was going to take us and where it was going to take us as a family. And there were days before I retired from that 20-year corporate career where I was literally leaving our home, in the morning before the sun came up and before anybody else was awake. And as I was driving to work, I literally could play the story in my mind of what Advocare had done for us. And I envisioned, Rebecca and I being able to share that story with people of what Advocare had done for our family and how it allowed me to come home and allow us to live the kind of life that we had always imagined. So that's one of the things that I want to challenge everybody with tonight, is think about it. I mean, as you're sitting there right now listening to this call, you probably have an idea in your head about what the kind of life that you would like to live looks like. And that's where you need to let yourself go. And a lot of times it's difficult for all of us to be honest with ourselves, but that's where you need to go to define that purpose and define your why. Now, once you've got that in place, and once you know why you're doing Advocare, and reach out to your mentor, your sponsor, let them help you uncover that, unpackage your purpose, so to speak. But once you do that, the next step in terms of being able to earn income with Advocare is being at the 40% discount level. It's being what we refer to as a business advisor. Now, I'm guessing a lot of you on tonight's call are already at that place. But there's probably a lot of you, too, that are brand new distributors, and you're just trying to figure out what this is all about. And I'm not going to get into great detail on what Advisor does for you, but if you want to make more than just a couple $100s a month, you've got to be at that advisor level. And one of the big reasons is once you're a business advisor, it opens up all 5 streams of revenue. And most importantly, it opens up the residual income opportunity. And I'll be real honest with everybody, this is a great time of year, and we just had our first $40,000 month. And I say that to let you know, to emphasize a point here, that our income is 96% residual income right now. And that's important for everybody to know, because if you're a distributor at 20, 25, or 30%, you're not going to be able to make residual income. And to be able to make, $500 or $1,000 or $10,000 a month or even more, you've got to be able to earn residual income. It's huge, okay? And that's where the large income is going to come from. Now, and I'll tell you this too, part of my rationale, and again, I'm going to go back to our story, when Rebecca wanted to get involved and I didn't see this opportunity, I didn't see what it could do for us, we did our research, and I did, from a pure business standpoint, I saw this advisor order and saw what it was. And in my mind, I realized one of 3 things were going to happen if we place this advisor order. And, first and foremost, we loved the products. And we knew that at the advisor level, we were going to be consuming the products at the maximum discount. Okay? Spark just tastes better at 60%. It just does. And the second thing that I knew could happen is if Rebecca shared this with other people, that we were going to maximize our profit, okay, because we were purchasing the products as cheap as we could. If we turned around and sold them, we maximized our profit. And like I said, it opened up the door to residual income, which is quite honestly what's allowed all of our dreams to come true. And then the third thing was that there's a money-back guarantee. You have a year to get your money back on any unused products. So with that in mind, I realized with the fact that there was no continuous commitment, there was no minimum, there was no auto shipment, there's no quotas, there is nothing that you have to continue to do except grow your business at your own pace. There was no risk. And with that money-back guarantee, there was a safety net. So I realized that we had absolutely nothing to lose by placing that order. And we did. So we placed a one-time $2,100 investment, and that's turned into over $30,000 a month on average since then. So guys, it's a great investment. It's no risk. And most importantly, the art of duplication is going to play itself out over time. You have no idea how many people that we've shared Advocare with have come back and asked us, well, how'd you get started? What did you do? And that's exactly what we did. When we were able to tell them that we saw the advisor opportunity, we saw what it meant for us and our business, and we went straight to it. And that tends to unfold more times than not. So let's kind of recap. You've talked about you've discovered your why, you've thought about your purpose, why you're doing Advocare, you've gotten to the advisor level as soon as possible, as soon as you can do it. So you're ready to go now. You're ready to start. So what's the first goal? What's your first objective? You want to shoot for a rookie bonus, okay? The rookie bonus program just started a couple of months ago, and quite honestly, if you're brand new, you want to earn the rookie bonus, okay? It's $500. If you earn it, if you meet the criteria, you earn it, all right? You're not competing against anybody else. You're simply competing against yourself. And then if you're a veteran, if you've been in Advocare for a while, you want to use this rookie bonus program to help get you what you want, all right? This is what you're going to use to help you drive your business. Now, what are the criteria? Quite honestly, it's once you become an advisor, okay, now there again, that advisor concept is huge, but once you become a fully qualified advisor, you then have 3 pay periods in order to get 3 members, okay, to get 3 distributors of your own, and we're going to talk about how you do that here in a minute, and then also accumulate $3,000 worth of volume. And if you can do that over the span of 3 periods, you're going to earn $500. Not to mention the fact that you're also earning compensation from your new distributors, from anything that they do, from all the volume that's taking place. We literally just had 2 people earn this new rookie bonus in the last couple of days. And there's some training out there that estimates that if someone earns a rookie bonus over those 3 pay periods, that they're going to earn approximately $1,500. Well, one of our new distributors, a police officer here in Nashville, named Chris Mason. This past period was his very first period as an advisor. He went after the rookie bonus, and he hit the rookie bonus, and he actually made $2,000 in his very first period as a fully qualified advisor. And that's because Chris got to advisor as quick as he possibly could. He's been extremely coachable and teachable, and is sharing this opportunity with others. And because he's doing that, he just cashed in on a $2,000 first period check. So that's very real money, guys, that can happen very quickly. And so now let's talk a little bit about how exactly did Chris do that and how do others. So once you've got that goal in mind, all right, you've got your target, you know what you're shooting for, you know what you're aiming for, you want to start to master the basics. Okay, and I'm a big sports guy, and I like to use a lot of sports analogies, but, you know, when we coach baseball and we teach baseball to kids, I mean, we talk to them about the fact that it's a very simple game, all right? You throw the ball, you hit the ball, you catch the ball. There's no reason to overcomplicate it, you know, just like Advocare. The legendary coach, Chuck Noll, he won 4 Super Bowls with the Pittsburgh Steelers by simply mastering the basics, okay? They blocked and they tackled better than anybody. And if you can master the basics, you're going to have huge success with Advocare as well. So what does that start with, all right? How do you get that rookie bonus? How do you get your business up and running? First thing you got to do is you got to package your story, all right? This is absolutely huge. And I tend to coach people in terms of a 30-second story. And the analogy that I like to use with people is think of a movie trailer, okay? And I'm going to use another sports analogy here. The movie 42 about Jackie Robinson. My son and I, my wife, Rebecca, we're all big baseball fans, but Brandon and I must have watched the trailer to that movie, I bet easily 15 or 20 times before the movie came out this past summer. We would pull it up on YouTube and we would watch it, and I mean, the trailer was exciting. It's got loud music, it's fast-paced, it's showing action scenes, and it's going from one scene to another, and it's building up the drama, and it's getting all exciting, and then, you know, literally it's 30 seconds into it, and bam, it cuts off, all right? The screen goes dark. And every time we watched that trailer, we just got more and more excited to go see the movie, all right? And that's exactly what you want to do, because when the movie actually premiered, we were there. We were so stoked up because of that trailer that we wanted to get there to see that movie. Now, what you're going to have to remember is, in terms of your story, is one, leave them excited, okay? Just like that movie trailer, leave them excited. And 2, don't give away the movie, okay? Don't give away the movie with the preview. And when you're talking to somebody about your Advocare experience, you want to break it down into 4 different sections. You know, the first one's going to be where you were at, all right? Not, hey, I was in my car and my buddy called me. I mean, it's where you're at, you know, either emotionally or physically, or, you know, with Rebecca, with my wife, she was physically exhausted from teaching classes when she saw Brooks Reed doing the 24-day challenge, and Brooks first approached her about that. For me, you know, I was spending 2 or 3 weeks away from the family traveling for work, and was just finding it harder and harder to get home at 6:30 or 7 o'clock at night and spend any time with my family. So that's where we were when Advocare found us. Now, I heard somebody this past week say, your mess is your message, okay? So where you were with Advocare is typically something that's not great. You're not typically going to paint a very rosy picture when you tell somebody where you were at with Advocare. Maybe you were 50 pounds overweight. Maybe you couldn't play with your 3-year-old because you were so exhausted. Or maybe you were just never seeing your family. But take that first 10 seconds of your story and tell somebody where you were at. The second thing you want to talk about is what you saw. For Rebecca, she saw her good friend Brooks Reed shrink, okay? She saw her drop 12 pounds, go from a size 12 down to a size 6. She saw her physically get smaller, all right? And you want to take about 5 seconds and talk about what you saw. You want to take the next 5 seconds and talk about what happened, okay? What were your results? Were those product results? Were those financial results? You know, did you earn a rookie bonus? And you could tell somebody about that. Did you earn $100 with your first check, your first period in Advocare? Or did you lose 10 pounds, 15 pounds? Did you improve your race times in a race? Whatever that may be, share what happened as a result of getting involved. And honestly, if you don't have a story right now, you can use other people's stories. That's why we have Impact Magazine, the DVD. That's why there's other options out there for you to use. And then you want to wrap things up. The fourth section is where are you going? And this is where you start to paint a little vision for people. You can talk about how you're on track to earn X number of dollars per month. You're on track to earn $500 a month, and you're going to be a stay-at-home mom within 6 months. You want to tell people where Advocare is going to take you. And take the last 10 seconds of your story and share that with them. So 1, talk about where you were. 2, talk about what you saw. 3, what happened, and 4, where are you going? And be concise and be to the point, okay? And now here's a few tips. Guys, think about what made you think about that person, and be honest with them, be sincere, okay, because you want to customize your story for that individual. You want to talk about why specifically you thought about them and why you're sharing Advocare with that person. And you're not going to share the same story with everybody. You're not going to talk about what Advocare is doing for you physically with somebody who's already in great shape. Maybe you want to talk about the financial aspect with them if they're looking for a job or they're looking for a source of income. But just be real, be truthful, be honest, and be transparent with the people that you're sharing with. And most importantly, just be sincere, because you're sharing with your friends and your family, and they already know you, they like you, they love you, they're going to respect you, and you've got credibility with them. So just be yourself. And if that's one key message I can deliver tonight, is that passion trumps perfection. Okay? And I would encourage all of you to write that down. I talked about Chris Mason earlier. When he shares this with people, he is so excited about what Advocare is doing for him and the fact that it has allowed him to turn down overtime opportunities so he can already spend more time with his family after just being involved for 2 weeks. When he gets me on the phone with people, they're excited to hear more about Advocare. And he just uses his passion, his enthusiasm, and his excitement to be the trailer for the movie, and then he introduces them to me. So, guys, every time, passion is going to trump perfection. Don't stress about saying the exact right word at the exact right time, okay? Because if you're excited and enthusiastic, your friends are going to want to hear more. Then that leads us into kind of the fifth and final component of tonight. Once you share your story with somebody and you've got them excited to hear more, ask them, do you want to hear more? And when they do, that's when you're going to plug them into something that we call the success system. And the success system is going to give you third-party credibility with your friends and your family. And if there is one component out of all of this that is going to determine whether or not you're successful with this or not, is how much you use the success system. Because you're going to need somebody here to give you some third-party credibility, because your friends know you as their brother, their sister, their old college roommate, the guy they used to play ball with. You are not the Advocare nutritional expert, but when you introduce them to your sponsor or mentor, that person's going to give you that credibility that you need to be successful with this. And this is probably the one single determining factor for success in this business, is how well do you plug people into the success system. And then that allows them to see how this process works and allows them to continue to duplicate this process. And you're going to model it for them. So when your friend says, yeah, I want to hear more, I want to learn more, I want to know more, then it's your job to stop. It's your job then to stop sharing and say, okay, that's great. I'm going to get you introduced to the person that's helping me, and they're going to help answer your questions. Just make it very normal. Okay, guys, that's only a weird process if you get uptight and weird and make it nervous. Literally just say, okay, great, here's what we do next. It's just a simple part of this process, and then you let your mentor or your sponsor share their information. Let them know, they are going to answer your friend's questions, and you're going to learn that way. And there'll be a point in time when you're doing three-way calls for people in your organization. We still use this too. We've been doing this for 3 years. We became Diamond Distributors after 18 months. We still use the success system because we still need that third-party credibility. One of the phrases I always like to say is, okay, great, I want you to hear about this from someone else's perspective. I kind of want to take myself out of the picture and introduce my prospect to my sponsor, my mentor, and I literally tell them that. I want you to hear about this from someone other than me. And guys, that's all you do, okay? You simply share, you introduce, and you repeat the process. Share, introduce, and repeat. Share, introduce, and repeat. And the more you do that, the quicker your business is going to grow. And guys, consistency is the key, okay? Like we talked about, identify your why, get to advisor as quick as possible, shoot for that rookie bonus once you become an advisor, because that's not only going to get you paid quickly, but it's going to propel your business, and it's going to start to duplicate. Okay, package your story. That's huge. You got to have a well-packaged practice story, and then introduce people to the success system. If you do that, you will absolutely be successful. And guys, that's all I've got tonight. I appreciate you tuning in and listening. For those of you that are part of the Hinton organization, you can stay on the call if you want to. This is the same number for our team meeting. But I am going to turn the conference call off right now, and I will turn it back on in 5 minutes for the Hinton team call. But again, thank you very much for tuning in. God bless, and have a great week. Thank you.